Hello and welcome to our webinar, The 6 Pillars of AI for E-commerce, Empowering Knowledge Workers. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Stéphane Monsalve. I'm the CEO and founder of System in Motion. My specialty in AI, in my team, we all have a specialty. My specialty in AI is strategy and AI for strategy. Out of my resume, you really need to remember one thing. I had my master's degree in artificial intelligence in 1993. So this is not a topic that I discovered 6 months ago or 1 year ago. This is something that I've been following for the last 30 years. And I'm very excited about all the possibilities that generative AI have in e-commerce, but also in other industries and other fields. What are the 6 pillars of modern AI and how e-commerce companies should implement them? So the 6 pillars are train, augment, control, secure, comply, and accelerate. If your company implements those 6 pillars, you will get the best of AI. This is what we recommend for integration in corporates. Let's look at the first one, train. AI has learned our languages. We should learn its language. AI can communicate in many different languages. It can communicate in English, it can communicate in Spanish, Russian, French, Dutch. But do we know how to speak the language? Because the AI is expressing themselves in that language, we feel that we just need to have a conversation with another human, but it's not. Actually, the language of AI is what we call the art of prompt. Is how to use natural language, human language, to give order to the machine. Because at the end of the day, we're giving orders to the machine. We're talking to a computer. We're not having a conversation with a human or a super intelligent being. And the whole purpose is to make you more efficient in your daily work. So we came out with our own framework, the ERCFC framework. This is the basic framework that works in 90% of the tasks that you have to perform in your daily work. Let's leave example on the side for now. The R stands for role. Who do you want the AI to impersonate? Who is the person you want to hire for that job? The role will give the answer from the generative AI, a certain personality, a certain style, a certain type of vocabulary, a certain type of authority. Now, context. Whenever you give instruction to an AI, when you open a new session, the AI doesn't know who you are, which company you're working for, which brand you represent. It doesn't know what day it is. It doesn't know where you sit in the world. It's totally blank. So you have to give it enough context to execute that task. Third is format. Whenever you give instruction to an AI, a text-based AI, you need to ask for the formats that will be most convenient for you. So if you need an email, ask for an email. So it's already structured like an email. If you need 6 bullet points, ask for 6 bullet points. If you need 10,000 words, ask for 10,000. If you only need 2,000, then ask only for 2,000. And finally, the command. The command has to be short. It has to be an action verb. You don't need to be polite. You just need to ask for what you have, because again, we are giving orders to a computer. And finally, the first part of the prompt, which is optional, the example. Sometimes it's easier to give an example, let's say a product description or a job description or something that you already have. By giving the example, you don't need to describe so much what you want. And the AI is very good at using an example to transform it completely and perform a completely different task, but following the structure and following the tone and the way the first example was given. Next, augment. AI needs humans' work to help humans work. AI cannot operate on itself. If you're using a model that has access to the internet, then yes, there is the internet, but then it's maybe too large to what you want to do. So you really want the AI to have access to all the knowledge and everything that you have done and other humans before you have done, and everything that makes the essence of the company. So this is why we're using a technique that we call knowledge management. I'm going to give you a very short demo of the knowledge management base and how it can operate. So what I did is I downloaded from the internet a few products. I downloaded memory stick, SSD, from the internet. They are all in a different format. They are all, every brand has something different. And when I put all this information into a knowledge base, what I'm going to be able to do is I will be able to ask a question, to give a task. So just now I explained to you that the context is extremely important. When you work with a knowledge base, your context becomes the entire product catalog, the entire company standard operating system, the entire knowledge base that you feed into the AI. You can access it at the tip of your hand, and you can access it in a way that will give you good results and allow you to ask questions or give tasks. Yeah. So let's move on to the demonstration. So first, let's announce the first prompt. What is the range of writing speed of SSD memory card? So what the system is doing is it's looking at all the documents, and if I click on the search here, I will see which documents were open, and I can access them by clicking on them, and giving me a very detailed summary of the range of writing speeds. Different formats, different, again, the PDF are not formatted the same way, but it's coming out as a structured document. Second, I will take 2 of these memory cards, and this time I will ask the AI to generate a comparison. So the AI will, again, go out, find the right documents based on the product description, and give me a very nice table and comparing the items that match. And then when one item is in one document and not the other one, it will take not specified. So I have that very detailed comparison table without doing anything. Just by feeding those documents, those product description into a database, I'm able to generate automatically with zero work, a very simple prompt. I can get that. And finally, none of these documents have any price information. They're all technical documentation. So if I ask what is the most expensive SSD memory card, what I really want this time, and I want the generative AI to tell me that the information doesn't exist. So they are telling me that this is most likely the most expensive one, but the price is not there. So it's giving me its best guess, but only based on the information there. It's not making up any fake price. It's saying, okay, this one has the highest capability, so it is likely the most expensive one, but it's not giving me a price. When you use generative AI, you really don't want this generative AI to make up things. And you may have heard of hallucination. They can happen with generative AI. So this is how you can leverage a knowledge base and really accelerate a lot of your work based on information that are proprietary to your company, and you can access it using AI. Next, third pillar of AI is control. In every AI-powered workflow, we want a human at first and a human at finish. We don't want to give full autonomy to the AI. We don't want, some people are thinking about an office full with robots and with AI. It's not going to work. There needs to be a human at start and a human at finish. The human at start will have the intuition, the spark, the idea, and the human at finish will check the validity. So for example, this is an example of a workflow of designing a product description. So first, the human will validate and take the tone of the brand, the persona that you're talking to, who is your typical customer or different personas, and the markets that you're going to sell into. So first, based on the persona, we want to extract the type of features that this persona will be interested. Are they interested in sustainability? Are they very price sensitive? Are they are they all about aesthetics? And then again, the AI is going to generate some comments, but the human is going to choose. So maybe the AI will give you 5, but the human will choose the 3 that are the most important. Next, if we're working on a single product, then we're looking at the product attributes alignments with this selection. And again, we want the AI to give us more than what we need so that the human will select. Based on this selection, we're going to move on to keyword selection. So based on the SEO objectives, what are the keywords that really reflects what the persona wants? What are the attributes of this product that were selected by humans? And again, we want the human to select these keywords. Now we put everything together. And the AI is able to generate a product description, align with the market, align with the tone, align with the persona, including the keywords and the product selection that we have done. Then we have a validation by AI. So this one will give a set of criteria in terms of storytelling, call for action, conciseness, alignment with the brand values. And again, there will be your scores. And the human will choose like this one is fine, this one I don't mind, but these two I really want to enhance them. So then we can ask the AI to rewrite it, and you get to your final product description. So you see that we have acceleration in every process, because every time we are using AI, this will accelerate the middle part of the process, but we always want a human in control for the critical choices you're making throughout this workflow. Now, when you don't do it, so when a company doesn't do it, this is what happens. So this is one of the many success story or more horror story or failure story. McDonald's decided to replace some of their drive-through with fully automated AI. They worked between 2021 and 2024 with IBM, and finally they unplugged because of customer dissatisfaction. The AI were approximately 80% accurate, so that means 1 out of 5 orders were wrong. So the AI limitations are there, and it's not enough. And you don't want to remove the human from the loop. The AI is there to support. The AI is there to augment humans, not to replace human. It doesn't work, and we have 10 like this. We have 10 stories like this that you can find on our website. Number 4, secure. It's extremely important to keep your data secure. So whenever you are using an LLM, there are 2 parts. One part on the left side is all your company proprietary data, everything you want to protect in blue that has value, that are your assets. And then on the internet, you have those public AI tools. I'm not going to name names, but you know what they are. And you have them on your phone, and you have them on your laptop and on your tablet. These AI tools are supposed to have been trained on public knowledge. So they don't have access to your company private knowledge. So if you want to ask a question, they will not be able to access it because your IT department has protected your most important assets. Now, if you sit in a company and you issue a query to a public AI tool, you get an answer. So far, so good. Problem is, most likely at one point, you will get some company proprietary data, you'll put it into your prompt, and then that data is being sent out. So now that blue square that you see in the green part, that means your data is now somewhere outside of your company, maybe in a different country, on a different data center. And these AI companies are so hungry for data that they may use this proprietary information to train their next model. But at worst, you already have data that is outside the company. So what we recommend is not to do this. And many companies and all our customers have decided not to do that. Instead, you want to bring the model inside your company. So you take a foundation model, open source or one that is available in your cloud provider, and then you make it part of your secure environment. And then you can ask every question you want. And the same way that I show you in the knowledge-based demonstration, now the AI has access to absolutely every single piece of information in your company, from your financial to your product, to your price list, to your suppliers, to your product description. Everything is there, and then everything can become the context of your prompts, and you can be extremely efficient. So this is how you secure your information. You don't go out to use public AI, you bring the AI into your company. Number 5, compliance. AI regulation is a moving target. In every jurisdiction, new laws are coming up, and companies have to adapt. And of course, you need to comply. Now, if you happen to belong to 2 different countries, so for example, your headquarters is in Europe, but you're also selling in China, your Chinese entity needs to comply with the Chinese regulation, but because your mother company is in Europe, you also need to comply with European regulation. And they are very different. So this is an AI-generated comparison between the European AI Act and the China regulation. So first, in China, the regulation is very specific, targeted to particular application, where in Europe, it's more high level. It's about risk categories. And again, it's changing all the time, but this is still the philosophy of assessing what AI should be allowed, permitted in Europe or not. If we're talking about China, because I happen to be here in China, my company is based in China. So the Chinese regulation is openly aligned with the government, with the agenda of the Chinese Communist Party, and it's written in the law. And it's completely transparent. In Europe, because Europe is not a country and it doesn't support any country, any government, or any specific way of seeing the world, they are there to protect at the general level rights, health, and safety, which China regulation is also doing it, but this is not their number one priority. On the Chinese side, they want every algorithm and every model to be assessed by the government. So every AI company needs to go through an approval process from the government. On the European side, this approval doesn't exist, but the European AI Act really puts the companies in front both of the regulators and the public. And the regulators always mean one country plus Europe. The Chinese AI regulation works into putting in place the resources and the bureaucratic capacities to enforce this regulation, and it's already in place. And the assessment of algorithm and models is already in place, and the capacity is still there to decide that. The framework that is in place, made in place by the European government, is more a general regulation and general governance framework that every single country needs to implement. So again, being in different countries in Europe, you may end up with slightly different regulation. And the European Artificial Intelligence Board is something that is more in the future. And finally, on the Chinese side, because algorithms need to be registered with the government and assessed, then the target is really on the domestic AI solutions. And these are the ones that are basically the only ones that are allowed there, and they're going to grow and they're going to perform better and better because the internal market is protected for them. That has been the case for many years in the Chinese ecosystem. Europe, they want to position them as global leaders, and they hope that every other country, even non-European country, are going to copy the regulation because it's so good and it leads to so many good results. So there's really this idea of global leadership, even better, even before or at the same time as they are protecting European citizens. Yeah. And finally, number 6 is to accelerate. We say that AI models must be like light bulbs, easy to change. You may or may not know that AI models are changing extremely fast. So if you invest and your technology is too much linked to an AI model, you're in trouble because the winner today may not be the winner tomorrow. So in a traditional traditional IT projects, we usually take 2 months for consulting, 3 months for development, 1 month to go live. If you use this principle and this type of projects with AI, you're going to end up with an outdated solution. Because if we take, for example, GPT, between the 4.0 version that was released in May of last year and the 0.1 that was released in September, you only have 4 months. So if you started the project at the beginning, when 4.0 was really the new thing and the best model on the market, and 6 months later you put your project in production, 0.1 was there, and you had to redo the thing. This is why we think they should be light bulbs, and you should be able to change it in your project, but you also need to be extremely, extremely fast. We recommend 1 month for a project and 2 days for a proof of concept to validate that you can move forward. Yeah. Let's have a quick look at. This is probably already outdated by the time you look at it. So these are like the top models, and again, they are probably new models when you look at it after we've looked at it. So if you check, for example, in June, this was the model. So Claude 3.5 Sonnet was there in June. But then it got outpaced in August, and then in September, and in November, and in December, and then new models are coming in January. Yeah. So that means that whoever is the winner today is not going to be the winner in 1 month, and is not going to be the winner in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. So whatever you do, you need to be agile and being able to take the right model at the right time and be able to transform your infrastructure, and need to be extremely agile regarding this one. And right now, we're only looking at text models, but the same for image, will be the same for video soon, and the same for music. Go back to our 6 pillars of AI for e-commerce. Number one, train. Don't train the AI, train the humans to use the AI. Number two, augment. Use all the human knowledge and all the company's information to feed the AI to help you be faster and more efficient. Number three, control. We want a human at the first and a human at the finish. Number four, secure. Bring the AI into your company so it can safely access your corporate data instead of sending your corporate data outside to the public. Number five, comply. Which all the countries you operate in, you must be compliant with AI regulation that are changing quite often. Number six, accelerate. Your AI project must be fast, and your AI infrastructure must allow you to replace an AI model with a better one because they're always updated. Now we are looking up to Mr. Peter Drucker, who said that the 21st century will be the age of productivity for the knowledge worker. And this is really why we're doing all of this. This is why we're doing this keynote. This is why we're doing so much training on generative AI. We do believe that knowledge workers deserve that productivity boost because the 21st century is where it's really happening and generative AI is there. Now, how you do that? This is how we consider AI journey for companies. So first you have to train the executives. If the top management of a company doesn't understand what is AI and don't have a first-hand experience, very difficult for them to articulate a strategy. Then you can train the rest of the company because once they understand, they absolutely want everybody to be on board. Plastic makes perfect. You have to use it day in, day out. You can scan the QR code here to register to our newsletter for inspiration. We provide news, we provide use cases, we provide tips, and we also provide the tools that we are using for our own internal purpose. And almost every week we look for a new tool and sometimes we change it. Now you contact us for training, you can contact us for everything. And then you have to identify 2 or 3 use cases that are important to your company. Where do you think you can make a difference? And then you have to test the knowledge base. So you can contact us to test the knowledge base based on your sample documents and see if you can achieve good results just by using AI on your proprietary information. So I hope you enjoy this keynote, and I hope if you're at the beginning of the journey that gives you more ideas of where to go, and if you're somewhere in the middle of the journey, you know where to go next, and you can really leverage the power of generative AI to empower yourself.